It's a happy car. Everyone who sees it is very happy to see it. When you're in it, the wind's in your hair, and it's a beautiful piece of American engineering. It's just pure entertainment. I always had a passion for cars since I was a little kid. I thought they were just the coolest thing, but never really thought myself being somebody who was going to have a lot of cool cars. I was born in India, but I came to the United States when I was about a year old. We ascribe to immigrant values, a lot of keep your head down, kind of work hard. What kind of solidified the whole car culture for me was watching the first Fast and Furious movie and just kind of realizing that that's awesome and I'm really into that. And it turned from something that I was just really into as a child into an actual passion as a teenager and now into my adulthood. I think 60s style is kind of really when American cars really peaked. And I've always fallen for the 60s aesthetic, whether it's a Cadillac or a Corvette. I've always kind of wanted one. I went to a dealership looking at a Dodge Viper, which is another car from my childhood that I really liked. And I saw this in the corner and I just kind of asked about it. Turns out it was a consignment. So the owner lived down the road and he was this old man, he's in his 90s and he had this car since the 60s and he loved it. He had so many stories about it and he just told me his eyesight's waning and he's gonna stop driving now, so that's why he's selling it. And I was very honored to take it from him and kind of carry on its legacy. This was a car that showed off that I indeed made it. There are a lot of our fathers growing up in the 90s kind of viewed the same way with a Mercedes S-Class. I worked hard for this thing. And looking at it now, driving it, it's exactly that to me. Having heard the story of its original owner and seeing how excited he was to get it in the first place and then just being able to shepherd that on, really do feel that pride of ownership and that sense of accomplishment, being where I came from and everything. Hard work really does pay off. And if you can make that work and if you work hard at it and obviously have a little help, then you can enjoy the things that you want. And I think that's what this car really represents. Being told and believing in the American dream of sorts, I know it gets a lot of ridicule now, but in the 90s it was quite prevalent and it really helps create that sense of journey towards where you're gonna be. Now that I'm in my 30s and I have some sense of accomplishment, looking back, you do want the things that you wanted as a child because those were the dreams that you had. And in getting them when you're still, relatively young, I would say, allows you to realize a dream. I wanted that Ferrari when I was a teenager. I wanted something like this when I was a kid. And that's what I would say is a dream attained. Yeah, it's got its issues here and there, of course. It's a little bouncy. Sometimes it's slow or, it gets hot because there's no air conditioning. But overall, I challenge you to be upset when you're sitting in this. And honestly, I call this my happy car, and I was very happy to call it my happy car for ages.